By the end of this video, you'll have a very clear step-by-step roadmap to becoming a much better sight reader, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate pianist. One of the most common frustrations I hear from piano students is, I'm terrible at sight reading and I don't know how to improve. And yes, sight reading is not easy, especially in the beginning, but here's great news. It's not a talent, it's a skill, and as any skill, it can be trained. The first secret is surprisingly simple. Spend a little time practicing it, but every day. And here's the issue. Many students make the same mistake. They spend weeks, months, or even the whole year learning just one piece or maybe two or maximum 3 pieces. Then, when these pieces are ready, they move on to the next piece and repeat the process. If this is how you practice, your progress unfortunately will be much slower than it could be. Instead, divide your practice into 2 different types of work. About half of your practice time should be dedicated to your serious repertoire, the pieces you're polishing and trying to perform at your very best. The other half should be spent exploring, sight reading, ear training, harmony exercises, improvisation, or simply playing pieces which you enjoy a lot but without worrying about making them perfect. In other words, half of your time at the piano should be about discovery, experimentation, and just having fun. The other half is for refinement. That's why, as a general guideline, I'd recommend spending about 15% of your total practice time specifically on sight reading. So, how do you actually train it? Step number 1 is to build a large library of music that is much easier than your current playing level. And this is probably the most important rule of all. So if you are a beginner, read very easy beginner music, like literally pieces written for 2 fingers. If you are an intermediate player, don't practice sight reading with intermediate repertoire. Go back to easier pieces. There is absolutely nothing embarrassing about reading simple music. In fact, that's exactly how good sight readers become good, by reading something manageable and gradually increasing that difficulty. Because your first and most important goal when you sight read, don't get stuck. If the music is difficult enough that you are constantly stopping and stumbling and can't continue, it's too hard for sight reading practice. Of course, finding hundreds of suitable pieces isn't always easy. Searching online, browsing archives, and trying to organize music by difficulty, it's not always easy, it's time consuming and also needs some expertise sometimes. That's why I generally would recommend you to find a well-organized collection created specifically for sight reading, or maybe using an app. One app that I personally enjoy a lot is pianotree.com. It's designed specifically for sight reading practice and contains more than 7,000 pieces, carefully organized from the easiest level, very gradually to increasingly challenging music. And what I particularly like is that even the beginner pieces are often beautifully written by talented composers, so you're not just practicing exercises, you're actually making music. So even when you sight read something as simple as this, you still have some accompaniment, which makes it more enjoyable. And you can see that the notation disappears while I play, and this is an optional feature which you can turn on, which I find it absolutely great, because one of the most important skills when you sight read is your ability to look ahead. While you play bar 1, you already look at the bar 2. And this app allows you to develop this skill more aggressively, because here you can choose the mode, read ahead mode, and you can choose whether the notation disappears half bar or maybe whole bar or maybe 2 beats in advance. And of course you can turn it off, that's absolutely optional, but this is another really great feature of this app which allows you to boost your sight reading really great. And as you see, the library of this app has many different sections like melodic intervals, harmonic intervals, imitations, fugue expositions, lead sheets, jazz, and many other things. So you can actually develop sight reading of specific skills, specific patterns even. And another feature of this app, which I love very much, is an ability to transpose your music. And this is very helpful, and I really suggest you to use this feature a lot if you are interested in working with this app, because it develops your brain and your overall musicianship so much. For example, you can sight read your piece in the original key, like that. And then when you're done with that, you just transpose it to, let's say, some other key, to A major, for example. And now you suddenly have the same piece, but in A major, and you can sight read it again. That's super cool, because it's very, very beneficial to practice your pieces in other keys, actually. And by the way, if you'd like to try the app, you can get it 20% off using the coupon code Denis20. Now, why practicing with an app like that or with a recording is so helpful? Because it encourages you to follow the most important rule of sight reading. Never stop. When you're sight reading, it's perfectly acceptable to simplify. For example, if I read something challenging, something that has many voices like this fragment, and for some reason, I'm not sure that I can play all the voices. It's absolutely okay for me to actually skip some things and play just the most essential things like melody. You see, I played barely half of the notes, but you still can recognize the music. And that's what sight reading is about. It's not about playing everything perfectly. It's about to give a really good impression about the music without stopping the flow. Or for example, if I would see some embellishment which I don't understand, for example, some symbol in the score which I don't understand, I just skip it and I play a simplified version. That's absolutely okay. So simplifying on the go, it's also a very, very important skill, and you can build it best when there is no time to stop or slow down, when you have that beat, when somebody or something is pushing you, like the app that gives you an accompaniment or another person. And that's why, for example, if you go to a sight reading class in a professional music institution, it usually means that you just get a score and you accompany someone as a collaborative pianist, to a singer or to a second piano or to a conductor, and you just play with someone, because this is when you learn to overcome mistakes and problems, simplify on the go, but keep moving. Now let's talk about another very, very important principle, because before you play a single note, spend a minute or two analyzing the score. And this is what you have to analyze. So first, you look at the time signature. We have 4/4, we have 4 quarters, so we know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beats in the bar, right? Next, we check the key signature. If we don't have any sharps or flats right at the front before the time signature, it means that we are either in C major or in A minor. And how do we understand whether it's C major or A minor? We, of course, can look at the piece, how it sounds, what kind of vibe it gives us, but also we can look at the very end of the piece. So this piece likely ends on C major chord, right? So we can say that this is a C major piece. And this is very important to understand, because we also have to think functionally, right? That's why defining the key is quite important. And for this, we look at the end of the piece, because actually the piece can start from afar. This piece, for example, it starts with G. But how do I know that this is really a C major? Maybe it's an E minor, or something, or G major. So it can start from something else, but it has to end at the tonic, at the first scale degree. That's why looking at the end of the piece and looking at the beginning of the piece, at the key signature, how many flats or sharps do you have, it's very important. Next, very important, is scan the rhythm. And for this, if you're just beginning sight reading practice, I strongly recommend you clapping the rhythm before you play. So here, for example, what I would do, I would just clap the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Just clapping the rhythm very precisely, because the rhythm is more important than the notes when you sight read. It's okay to skip some notes or simplify or play a wrong note, whatever, but the rhythm has to be very clear. Then look for accidentals. For example, in this piece, we don't have any sharps or flats at the beginning of the piece, but in bar 2, we have a flat. So think for a moment, where is that key? That E flat? It's here. So I just keep in mind that in bars 2 and 3, I have that one black key. And if you see something difficult, a passage which you don't understand or an embellishment, you don't know how to play around, or some difficult passage that you know that you will need at least like 1 hour to handle it, just make a mental note to skip it or simplify it. So just you would be ready for that. In other words, don't start playing right away. Scan the piece and evaluate it and figure out the things a little bit. Finally, choose a tempo which you can actually handle. It's better to play quieter, but really consistently. So here we can choose something really steady, really slow. 2, 3, 4, and we go. Yeah. If you think that's too easy, you just go for something quicker, of course. 2, 3, 4. So, luckily in this app you can actually experience the whole range of tempi. You can play very, very slowly, or you can play very, very quickly. And one final tip, especially if you're a beginner, before you sight read a piece for the first time, it's actually very, very useful to just listen to it, looking at the score. And for this, I would suggest you to disable the keyboard U. So we just hide the keyboard. So we can only see the notation. You pick up a comfortable tempo and you just listen to it a few times. You can also make the piano louder and the accompaniment softer, and just sing along with the music and just remember how it sounds. Listen to it a few times so it actually stays in your ears, and then start to sight read. That's very helpful and it makes it much more enjoyable and a little bit easier. So if you want to try this app, don't forget to apply the coupon Denis20. And if you are a beginner pianist and you want to avoid common pitfalls that beginner pianists usually fall into, check out my free PDF guide where I explain 6 most important fundamental principles which you should know about if you want a really smooth piano playing experience. So check this guide and download it for free by following the link in the description. Thank you for watching this and see you next time.